Last Monday, at about 6 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting back at the back there under the suffragette monument, and I saw the sun rise over the corner and the sunlight come through the shard, top of the shard. And then lots of more people came until about 2 o'clock, when we were told to split up, and the group that I was in was tasked with taking the Westminster Bridge exit. So I wanted to get there before anyone else. So I ran over there and stood in the middle of the road, and then as the others were coming up, and the light turns to red, and we stepped in, a guy in a bee costume got there before me, and then I got into the other lane and stood in front of the traffic. And the lights were on red at that stage, so they were stopped. It turns to green, and then the traffic starts booping the horn and everything. I turned around, and about 30 or 40 people behind me, so they weren't going anywhere. So after they turned the traffic round, we then started constructing a barricade there. We had placard, had a banner which is stretched across the road, and then we tied it up to the lampposts and everything. And we started putting some other things up as well. And that settled, and we'd done that on all the 5 exits. And so after that, things calmed down. The police disappeared off down Whitehall, and they ended up at the end of Whitehall. And they didn't really come anywhere into the centre. So we had the whole place to ourselves. And it was brilliant at night, when night fell, and it was so silent, so quiet here. And you could lie down in the road, you could sleep in the middle of the road if you wanted to. And you could go down. I had a boombox on the phone, so I was able to walk down Whitehall and play the boombox and hear the music resonating off the walls of the buildings there, and use it as a stage of that. Then at about 3 o'clock, we heard that Waterloo Bridge was being taken by the police, so we need to get over there. So I went over to Waterloo Bridge. We went over along the South Bank and then into Waterloo Bridge, and there was about 20 people there on the southern end, and then a bit further up there's another 20 people or so. But this is something that really shook me. I went to the other end of the bridge, and there was what I thought was a coloured boy sitting on the railing looking into the water. And I came up to him and I said, I didn't tell him what you were going to do or anything. I said, why don't you come and join us? Why don't you come and join the protest? He shook his head. I learned out later it wasn't a boy, it was a girl. And then he passed me phone and said, give it to my mum. And he jumped, and I caught him. I managed to catch him in the arm. And there were 3 other guys there, and we took him out and got him on the bridge. But then the police came, and they looked through the bag, and it was a girl called Annette. And the police handcuffed her and took her away and said they would section her. But I thought, if there's one thing I've done well, that's that. So anyway, we then went back onto the bridge, and we joined the police and the protesters, and we lay down on some astroturf. The police kept saying, move over to the other side of the road, or we're going to arrest you. And they kept going on and on and on. About 3 hours they went on about this, and they never arrested us. It was all bluff. Despite the fact that I was cold there, I was saying, please arrest me, I want to get to a nice warm cell. And possibly because of that, they wouldn't arrest me. And then next day, Tuesday afternoon, I was here in the square here, and I was just sitting over there, and we had all the roadblocks up, but then I saw a whole rows of marching policemen coming in through up into the square, and there was about 250 of them, and one of them, one row shot up there towards my barricade. So I ran after, I managed to get the stuff put together, ran after him, went behind the back of him, went into the barricade, and there was a woman there, and she was saying, you better run, the police are coming. I said, I won't be arrested. She said, okay, well you get arrested first, I'll maybe me later. So I went around the front of the barricade and lay down and hung onto the barricade. And the police came and they asked me if I'm going, and I said, I'm not moving, I'm staying here. So they handcuffed me, took me away, and I think they got, I don't know how many, there must have been about 100 protesters they took away. So they took us down to Lewisham. There was one guy, I remember, his name was Henry, and he obviously hadn't done his pants up very well, because I mean, his one moment of fame and the shot of him is on his backside, and he's carried by the police into the van. They put him in the back of the van in the cage, and he kept going on about the fact that his treatment and everything. He calmed down eventually. He's actually a great guy. We then ended up in the Lewisham police station, and the police there were very good, although there was a whole queue of them waiting to get us processed. And the police were very tired. They were, I'd done a lot. I mean, we had that prospect of a cell we could just go down in and sleep if we wanted to, but they had to carry on working. I did have someone mentioned about Jeremy Corbyn and how great a guy he was, and I did mention a family thing. I know because Jeremy Corbyn befriended an IRA terrorist who murdered my uncle. My uncle was an RUC officer, and this was in the police station with all the police listening. And I said that he was called to the bank in Rathcoole in Belfast, and the IRA were coming out the bank. An old lady witnessed it, and my uncle tried to stop them, and he was shot by the IRA by another gunman down the road who had an Armalite, and that gunman was named Ronan Bennett. The old lady, he was because of the evidence of the old lady, Ronan Bennett was put away for a year, but they appealed against it, and when they appealed, the old lady had retracted her evidence because of, obviously, the IRA put pressure on her. She obviously didn't want her knees get blown off. And so Ronan Bennett came out of, and he was then befriended out of jail. He was befriended by Jeremy Corbyn. He actually had a job in for a while in the House of Parliament. He then ended up getting a job in The Guardian, and then is a successful author, despite the fact that he is also a murderer, and we still haven't seen justice. So there's not, but this all went on in the middle of the police station. So from then on, they couldn't do enough for me. And in fact, when they put me in the cell, they shook my hand and said, "I'm sorry, we have to do this." But so they've got my backing. I think there's two things good about this country: the NHS and the police. So then at 6, I think following day, Wednesday, 6 o'clock or so, they let us out of the police station, and that's when I met Henry again. And I think we made our way back here, but then I went back home to Norfolk for a few days to ease up, and I came back. I went round the 4 different areas. Waterloo Bridge was brilliant with the music and everything, and in fact we were saying how what they need to do when they're talking about having a garden bridge, they don't need to build a garden bridge, they just need to change the one they've got. We were already doing that. And then I came in yesterday night, and the guy was up in the tree. There was about half a dozen people here, and the police were trying to get us to move on this morning. They didn't bother us during the night, but in the morning I think they wanted us to move. So they started by unscrewing this, and but we laid further out, so they couldn't, and eventually they went away. So we're still here. So we're still holding Parliament Square. Okay.
No, we're okay. Thanks.
Thank you.